Hey everyone, welcome back. Our last guest is a violinist, composer, and alumni of the Juilliard School. He's performed with musical artists such as Wynton Marsalis, Mr. Cheeks, Antonio Hart, Craig G, John Blake Jr., and that's just to name a few. His music is an eclectic blend of styles and influences, which pull from European classical, jazz, hip hop, and he's a recent 2021 Brio Award winner, and today he joins us to talk about his upcoming projects and his highly anticipated third studio album release, No Looking Back. Please welcome Majid Khaliq. Hello and welcome.
How you doing, Arena? Thank you for having me with you.
Oh gosh, like just by the mere introduction of your name, I kind of hear like the jazz sounds like accompanying me, which is what you were hearing coming out of my mouth.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm glad to.
First and foremost, congratulations on your 2021 Brio Award. Bravo, bravo.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. We really worked hard for that, so we appreciate it.
I would imagine so. What's it at now? Like $5,000 or something?
It's about 5 right now. Yes, and much needed fundage for some of the upcoming project.
Exactly, and you know the thing about it is that I feel that musicians really got hit hard during this particular time, and I say that not because I'm sure you found other ways to be creative and remain active, and I know there were virtual presentations, but the way you all operate is like you vibe off of each other, so you need to be with each other. So aside from the lack of venues to perform at, and of course that missing of human connection, what does it mean for you to like just be in the stage of reopening and of course winning this wonderful award, this grant from the Bronx Council on the Arts?
Well, I mean, it's always nice to be able to be in a room with your colleagues and be able to gain inspiration from their ideas and to add to the compositions that you put forth in a musical space or a performing space. But as far as the Council on the Arts, this came right on time. I've been working on this album for about 1.5 years, and I was hitting the wall. I was really coming up with ideas because obviously, as you know, the pandemic dried up so much of the work. And so, yeah, I found myself really having to put it on the shelf and having to kind of hold it off while I maintain my livelihood and family life. So they came in.
When you say put it on the shelf, you're talking about putting the instrument on the shelf, because it sounds to me like you were actually working on the creative process. I mean, you have a whole album, right?
Sure, absolutely. No, not put the instrument on the shelf, but put the process of mixing and mastering, because that's a whole financial side. Once you record the piece, the album,
the engineering aspect of it, the studio production component. I get it. I get it. But you were still creating, and that's a wonderful thing, right?
Yeah.
And so now you've got.
I found doing online performances with a couple of my buddies and some cameras and some really fine, studio kind of hardware that we kind of put together, a way that we were able to continue performing.
So when you say that, so you guys were like actually driving together on a platform, on a virtual platform where you were in different locations?
Yes. And that the pandemic lasted and is still going on, but after like about 7 months or something, or 8 months of like doing these like videos where you would send someone a video and then they would cobble it together on like whatever editing platform had. We decided, folks were getting tested. We would come into a space, no audience, and just put up some cameras and do it that way. So
yeah. Isn't it amazing though how we adapt though? Isn't it amazing how when you just love what you do that you find a way to make it happen?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, to be honest with you, um, music as it is for you, your art form, arts are the reason why we live. You know, it's our motivating factor for getting up in the morning. And yeah, being able to adapt was essential, and we just did it. And I'm grateful that I did.
Right. And we're grateful that you did too, because now you got a new album coming out, and of course it's called No Looking Back, which is what we're doing right now. But
Right.
it's all good because you got to know where you came from in order to know where you're going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well said. Absolutely. I agree.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that before we go.
Yeah, so the album No Looking Back is an album that is 10 songs. The inspiration for it is really kind of synth and 80s inspired jazz infused music. So it's a fusion of those 80s synths with the more modern jazz and a lot of influences from hip hop. So we got a lot of like more, but it's a fusion of those things. And I talk about on the album just love, of course, is always a topic that's very important, but also happiness. You know, I mean, it's 50% vocal and it's 50% instrumental. And no matter which one they are, it's talking about joy and it's talking about love. And I felt that the pandemic allowed me to reflect on those in a really meaningful way.
Yeah, no, it sounds it. It sounds lovely. I'm looking forward to hearing it myself. Just
Yeah.
by what you just shared, what I was able to pick up is
Yeah.
really where we're at now in diversity and inclusivity being at the forefront, just by the mere fact that you fused music together, right?
Yeah.
For me, you said 80s, and I went bling because I feel like that was a genre that really lived on its own and has continues to live on its own and has its own classic, you know, timeline that nobody's been able to duplicate and or
Yeah.
replicate.
Yeah.
Not to replicate it in repeating it, but to have like that same capsulated impact.
Right, right. Well, I feel that it has that. I mean, we did well to use certain synths that were from that era. One of the synths is called the Prophet 5, and it's one of those vintage synths. And I had some great help and some great work on the synths. A gentleman by the name of Andrew. Andrew, he goes by Andrew David now. He has a longer name, but he goes by Andrew David. He's from the West Coast. He's really amazing. And he's really a wizard in coming up with these kind of, I don't know, Stranger Things kind of influence 80s synths.
Got it. Right. Because God knows we were all watching that.
Yeah, we were.
So all right. So before we go, when's it gonna drop? So because I know you're gonna give us a little taste of something after we come back from break. But when is the whole album gonna be released?
Sure, the whole album should be released in early 2022. We're looking to release that, but actually we're going to be releasing a single in the next month or so. So we're looking to release a single, and then we're going to put the whole project out in 2022.
That's what's up. And of course, you know, people can listen to your stuff right now on YouTube. But don't go nowhere, because he's going to give us a taste right here exclusively for us in our Open Artist Spotlight. So don't go anywhere.